It's almost a decade-old paint, Ivan. We're going to compound the scratches away.
Hi, I'm Ivan.
I'm Nick.
This is DIY Detail. Today, we're going to rescue this beautiful old Audi. It has scratches, it has bird dropping etchings, it has water spots, it has really bad touch-up paint too. We're gonna rescue it from that, polish it up, and finish off with ceramic coating.
We've polished many vehicles in the past.
Right.
But to get there, you gotta decontaminate, you gotta wash. We've done all that in a different video. It's in the description, but don't watch it now. Wait till the end.
Yeah.
We're gonna show you, once you've done the wash and the decontamination, how to do some heavy defect removal, which we don't do in a lot of videos, Ivan, so this might be a different approach.
Right. Same basic approach that we normally have, but using the wool pad, the 25mm stroke DA, we're gonna get quick correction on this Audi paint and then finishing it off ready for a ceramic coating. Nick, in the other video, we pointed out all those etchings and all of that non-fun stuff. I've got my wool pad on my 25mm DA ready to go. I'm gonna dampen it with a bit of rinseless wash, 256-to-1 of course, and spin it out in our pad washer. And let's just do a small test section here for you. So I've done 3 passes. Then we need a rinseless dampened towel. Rinseless dampened towel to break down the polishing oils. Then a dry towel. We'll see what we've accomplished here. Now you'll notice on the machine I was on speed 3 with no pressure. And we've accomplished a lot. Let's take a light to this. So let's start where we didn't polish. And now where we polished. Notice how clearer the light is. There's not all those little lines and scratches around it. Like there.
This light.
Yeah, so it's this light here, the one that's moving. That's the one we want to follow. So much better, much clearer. Nick, we have a winning recipe.
Love it.
Now the wool pad cuts more than the foam pad, meaning that we are going to be doing smaller section passes than normal, and we'll show you when we get to that point. I'll overwork a section just to show you when the pad is saying, stop, you need to clean. Working time of the polish is very long, as you can see, and what it's doing is actually clearing up on the surface. And when it starts to clear up on the surface like that, we know we've gone far enough. And if you look at the pad, it sort of has a grayish tinge to it. That's the clear coat we're removing. So we don't want to polish any more than this on this section. We'll clean our pad and continue on. Pad is clean, loaded with polish, ready to go. There was a deeper scratch here. I'm just spending a little more time on it to round over the edges. That way that scratch will be a lot less visible. panel alignment here is not that great, so I'm actually gonna have to pop the hood open to get this edge, because you see how the panel is down just a little bit. The hood should be flush here, so I've asked Nick to pop the hood. That way I'll be able to polish here. Actually, let me open the hood. We'll see if the reason it's off, notice here, there's that little rubber bumper that we have over there. So at some point, someone's taken that rubber bumper off, and that's why the hood is sitting too low in that corner. Easy fix, easy part to get, but annoying for the guy polishing the car. We mentioned really bad touch-up paint, and I've prepped a razor blade, and yes, I'm gonna use a razor blade to remove the excess of this touch-up paint. The reason I'm using a razor blade, it's better than polishing for a long time. It's actually safer. I'm just taking the heads off of the touch-up paint, making it so that when we do polish, it will level up. So here's one there. It's very proud of the surface. Take a bit of lubrication, which is just rinseless wash, and shave off the excess. You saw that? Now, we've left the original stone chip there, which is actually what the owner wants, because he's not gonna do it with a 4-inch brush. He's gonna do the touch-ups the way they should be done.
Ivan, as you continue to gloriously polish away, I'm using our system here. Rinseless wash, damp and towel, short nap, followed by a plush buffing towel.
Yeah.
And it does a great job of cutting through the polish oils. The paint is looking awesome. You're doing the tire shine while you're down there, right?
Exactly. While I'm here, get it done. Dry the tires using ceramic gloss.
Now, as we think about next steps, what do we do after the paint has been properly removed of all the polish?
Next
That probably
step,
could have been said better. When we get the polish off the paint, what do we do?
C6 app. So app has a little bit of abrasive in it, and the wool pad has done a great job of shining this up. We don't need to do another step. And that is very important in being able to judge whether you need another step or not. One way to do it is to do a test section with another step, and if you don't see a marked improvement, you don't need to do it. By seeing this paint, we've wiped off a couple sections, we know where it is, we don't need to do another step.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been the end of the world to try another spot with the rotary jeweling pad or the yellow waffle on the DA to follow it up. But when you've been doing this long enough to look at paint and be like, that is shiny, I don't see a bunch of haze left over from wool, which could be possibly something you'd see on certain paints. If it's not giving you any signs of this is hazy or not shiny, and all you see is bright shiny paint, that's when it's time to full send it.
Even if the person has decided, or the customer has asked you for a multi-step paint correction, and you get to this point and see that it doesn't need it, do a little extra somewhere else for the customer, or say, hey, it didn't need it, so I didn't do it. Because what we're trying to do as detailers is preserve. We're not trying to perfect. We're getting very close, but there comes a time when you're just moving the machine around to hear it drone, to hear it do its thing. And it's not doing anything more for you, for the customer, or for the car.
That can be a hard thing to know. Like, when am I just moving this machine because I feel like I'm supposed to do a certain amount of passes? And when am I doing it with effect? You know, I think make every pass count.
Right.
Whether you have sandpaper in your hand is something I was taught once, or a polisher in your hand.
Yeah.
How do you make every pass count if you don't quite know, 40 years of experience?
you do a test spot and see what the test spot tells you. We know that if we put the rotary jeweling pad on this or our gold pad on the DA, it's not going to improve any more than it is now. We have a great finish on this.
Yes, we do.
So there's no need to do any more. And here we had some large scratches. Are they still there? Yes. Do we see them? No. We need to look extremely closely and with a lot of attention to find out where they were.
And what have we been teaching for years now, Ivan? Accept the deeper scratches, embrace the shiny paint, right? That's how we're talking about preserving clear coat. 9-year-old vehicle, a lot of things happen in 9 years.
Yes.
My kid wasn't born 9 years ago.
No, and this car has been polished before.
And how do you know that?
There are telltale signs. One is the flatness of the paint. The second is there were a few buffer trails on the rear bumper. So it has seen a polisher before. And we don't know how much it's been polished. Has it been polished one quick pass, or did they spend hours on it?
It's not your fault that it's been polished within an inch of its life. That's the wrong metaphor because paint's a lot less than an inch thick. It's not your fault that it has a history, but it's your responsibility to be the steward of this vehicle once it's in your hands.
Right.
So if something happens in your care, it was your responsibility to have not had it happen, even though some other detailer earlier in its life probably set you up for failure.
And we know the owner of this vehicle quite well. We know that he also prefers good, clean paint over burnt through paint. Nick, all the polish is wiped off, and we're ready for the next step.
What?
Where's Nick?
He's gone. I'm here.
Nick had to leave. We have Sylvie in his place. We're in good hands. And we've got all the polish residue wiped off of this. Now it's time to do the app. Before coating, we can either choose to do panel prep or the adhesion promoter polish. Tonight, we're choosing to do the adhesion promoter polish as a second step. So instead of finishing with the rotary and the jeweling pad, we're going to be finished with a small DA, the adhesion promoter polish, and the red pad.
Let's go.
The adhesion promoter polish is designed to deep clean the paint. There's a little bit of abrasive, not much. We're not trying to gloss the paint up or improve it. It's just there to deep clean. Also has some tea tree oil. That's what gives it a characteristic smell. And we're using our red jeweling pad dry, not wet, not dampened, on a 5mm stroke DA. You want to make sure that you're using a DA, not a rotary, and between 2 and 9mm stroke. More than that, there's polysilazane and a bit of SiO2 in this. They're not there to gloss your paint up. They're not there to provide a coating. They're there to lock your paint in an open state. The app slightly swells the paint, deep cleans it, and leaves it locked open. That way when we apply the coating, we're not applying it on the paint, we're actually applying it into the paint. Now I'm gonna be applying the app. Sylvie's gonna follow behind with a dry towel, not a wet towel, to wipe it up, and we'll be done very soon. Always wear gloves. Sylvie is donning some gloves. The reason for that is we don't want our oily hands touching the paint. I'm not trying to polish or do paint correction here. I'm simply spreading the app over the surface.
I need to wait for a while.
No, you can do it right away, or you can wait up to 12, 48 hours if you want.
Okay,
but
I wait.
But no, you can wipe it off immediately too. Now, if you have some drips that decide to invade your workspace, we have a few around the trunk lid here. We'll get rid of those drips before using the app. Moisture and the app do not go well together. Checking my pad. I still have app on the pad, and I can see as I go along the surface, as long as I'm still leaving app behind, and you can see someone's left behind, I don't need to add any more.
Easy to wipe off. It's very easy.
Yeah, app is a pleasure to work with. Very easy to wipe off, easy to apply. Now I just saw a little drip come out of the front grill, so I'm going to do that last, because I don't want to pick up any moisture with the pad.
Wow, it's glossy.
And after over half the car, now it's time to add a few more drops. The app really fits into the DIY philosophy of less is more. Last part to do, the front bumper. Like I said, leaving it till last because of potential water drips from around the headlights, the fog lights, the grille. And app and water do not mix well. So if I do pick up a little drop, it's not gonna impact the rest of the vehicle. Before putting the polisher away, we need to clean the pad. That way it'll be ready to use the next time. So a couple sprays of rinseless wash, get it nice and damp. And then over these little bumps, now this is a prototype, the real one will look a little different, but over these little bumps, these actually massage the pad up and down, driving the liquid in and back out, making it so that we clean the pad and get a great job. Pad is clean, ready for the next time.
Okay, Ivan, I think we are ready for the panel prep.
No panel prep?
What?
We did the app. When you do the app, there's no need for panel prep. It makes your life easier. And the vehicle is now ready to coat. What coating are we putting on it?
I think it's the 8th year.
8 year? 8 year it is. I have my 8-year coating. I have my applicator. Sylvie has
2 towel.
the green one is for
Labeling. And the other one is assurance towel.
insurance. Yeah.
Insurance towel.
And here we go. I'm going to start by priming my pad, which means 8 to 10 drops. And then going over the surface. Normally we try to box in a section. This time we're doing a little differently. We start in the middle and work our way out. Because what I'm doing is actually spreading an excess of coating on my applicator pad, but at the same time over the paint. And you'll see it go to what looks like an oil slick on water or a rainbow.
Wow.
I'm going past the edges of the panel. So we can really see the rainbow effect here. And we want to wait till about 50% of that dissipates away. When it's dissipated, then it's time to wipe. So we can see they're almost all gone, that rainbow effect. And Sylvie is ready to wipe.
I take my labeling towel. Just labeling. Easy, smooth. We overpass everywhere. And after that, you take the fluffy towel and just pass over everything. It's an assurance towel. Yeah, we are ready for the other one.
2 more drops on my applicator pad, and I always put the lid back on the bottle. That way if I drop it, I'm not worried about spilling it on the floor, and these are aluminum bottles, so if you drop them, they're not gonna shatter. Now I'm gonna box in the outer edge, making sure to go past that center line where I was before, and then fill it in with circles. If you want, you can do squares, you can do triangles, you can do octagons, figure eights, whatever geometric shape suits your fancy. I prefer circles because they're more efficient, they're faster, and you get a better distribution of the product.
I think the coating go in the paint right away.
Yes. Now, on the first section, we had a little too much coating there, but now you can see the rainbow effect is very quick and it dissipates almost clear. There's not much there left to wipe off.
It's easy for me. The job is more easy. The apps is very good. Oh, yes. It's very fast. Smooth. Just pass over. After that, the black towel will finish the job. Finishing the job, yes. That's it. Yes, sir. That's very good.
Next, I'm gonna go back to the trunk lid, get that done, and then we can roll around on our little scooters and do the bottom end. The top, we don't need to do. 2 more drops on the pad, and I'll outline the trunk with coating, fill in the center, and get this little piece here that goes around the top. And when we're working together applying a coating, always state what you've coated. That way the person that's working with you has an audible reference as to what has been done.
And I use just 2 towels for the whole car.
Yeah, the whole car.
2 towels.
2 towels is all we need.
Wow.
If your towel is getting wet, you're putting on your coating way too thick, or you're not waiting long enough. Now this is a dark colored car, it's easy to see. If you have a light colored car, like a white or a silver, you can use your window as a reference. Just do a little bit on the window, see, or if you have black trim somewhere, some black piano trim, do it there, see how long it takes, and then you can gauge when you need to wipe off. Now there's nothing wrong with wiping off too soon. All it means is your towel might get a little damp. But the coating, as soon as it touches the paint, it's attached, especially when you're using the app. So a couple drops on the applicator. I'm just gonna cruise down the side. So fender and tail light. Now I'm making sure to go past onto the other panels we did. That way we know that all the seams are covered. And when Sylvia's leveling, she's doing the same thing. She's coloring outside the lines, making sure that everything is covered and leaving no high spots behind. Again, with the door, I'm going past onto the fender, even though we just did it, making sure to get this door handle inside and out, and then just moving back on the door, up and down in circular motions. Making sure to get the little rocker panel extension there. It's an aerodynamic aid. We want it to be aerodynamic. Now around the emblems, I purposely added a little thicker amount of coating. The reason for that is when Sylvia wipes off, if there's any polish residue or anything left in there, she'll be able to get it because the solvents in the coating help break that down.
Oui, yes. That's good.
Now, for the same reason we left the front bumper till the end with the app, we're gonna leave the front bumper to the end for coating as well. Because if your applicator gets a little moisture on it, it's gonna start curing the coating a little too fast.
Yeah, the water with coating.
Not a good idea.
Not a good idea.
Coming down this side, I'll start on the fender, leaving the front bumper. Like we said, that's the last place we're gonna go. Sylvia and I have been applying coatings together for over 20 years, so it's very much a rhythm for us. It's very simple, but even if you've never applied a coating, it's really easy. It's actually easier than applying a wax.
I think it's less effort. You
Yes.
need less work to do the coating. The prep is maybe more, need more prep, but it's easy to apply. I can do it.
Yes.
Everybody can do it.
Little drips coming out, so we're gonna do the rocker panel same time as we do the bumper on the side.
I just flip my towel for the dry side
Yep.
and we are good.
And we have done coatings that are very, very difficult to do. The DIY coatings are very simple, fun, and effortless. We want a coating that's easy and fun to apply. There's no reason for a coating to be difficult to apply. If it is, they need to do a little more research and development. There's new chemicals, there's new components that can go into a coating that make it easier. Yes, they're a little more expensive, but they're definitely worth it. I just love seeing the gloss of a freshly coated vehicle. Now, the reason 8-year was chosen for this vehicle, even though it's a convertible, it's a daily driver, summer and winter. So it's going to see snow, it's going to see rain. It's not a garage queen.
And it's an old paint. He want to protect more long time too.
Yep. 9-year-old paint, we want it to last much longer than 9 years. Trunk lid's been done. Next, the back bumper. Again, a couple drops on the applicator. After I boxed it in, I fill it in, making sure to get the bottom part here. Around the exhaust tips.
What is your answer at the people says your coating is too expensive?
You get what you pay for. And that's a lot of research and development. The coatings, you can get a coating for $69 or $59, or a 3-year coating. The 8-year coating is a little more expensive, it's $159, but you get great longevity, durability, and with the 8-year, great self-cleaning ability. So this vehicle, even winter driven, will be a lot easier to clean.
And you don't need a topper either.
No toppers, no reapplication after a year. It's simply set it and almost forget it. You need to decontaminate when it gets contaminated, but other than that, simple, easy to apply, and easy to maintain. There are videos we've done showing a coating that was applied 2 years ago, and you see just how easily it's maintained and beads. But we're almost done this vehicle. Follow us along, we'll get that front bumper done, and then you get to see the final results.
Oh, yes.
Overlapping everywhere, making sure that nothing is left behind.
That's the secret.
Finally, the front bumper. Like we said, there's a possibility of drips here, so I'm gonna apply to my applicator 2 more drops. Now, admittedly, this is a small car and we didn't have a roof, but 1 bottle will easily do 2 of these.
On 1 bottle?
On 1 bottle, most people are getting 2 cars out of a bottle. Now, if you've got a F350 long box, 4-door, yeah, it may not do 2 of those. Now, as we're rolling around, I forgot to do something. That is the around the windshield pillar here and the side windows and the windshield. So we'll get those done. Luckily, I didn't pick up any humidity on the front bumper. Got very lucky. Letting it dry a little longer is always a good thing. While I'm walking around, checking for high spots, like I said, Sylvie and I have been doing this for over 20 years. At this point, high spots are a little rare for us, but they still can happen. So
Yes.
Don't let experience jade you into thinking you've got this. High spots still can happen to anyone. Now I'm just gonna add 1 drop to my applicator pad, do this mirror, finish the windshield, and then I'll finish the applicator pad on the back window where I can apply a bit of pressure. And if there's any remaining in the applicator pad, we'll get that out of the applicator. These applicator pads are actually quite economical to use. They don't soak up a lot of coating. So we found a little drop of water, took care of it.
Yeah, it's good now.
So now, final thing, just gonna squeeze down a little harder on the applicator pad to get every last drop out of it. Now this has been a 2-part series, but we promised you in the beginning this would be quick. It actually took us a little less than 2 hours to wash, decontaminate, polish, and coat this Audi. Of course, it's not a huge vehicle, but still gives you a bit of hope as to how long it can take. If you've never done this before, yes, it might take you a little longer. Sylvie, is there a video they should be watching?
We have something here.